Yo guys, welcome back to another episode of how I use Blender Octane. Today we're going to be messing around with this little thing that I kind of made here. I'm going to show you my workflow because I actually started this whole project on my iPad here playing in Adobe Fresco, which is free also to download now. And I was also testing out some materials from this company called Pixel Lab. Pixel Lab kind of, I've been talking with them and we were kind of like, they're putting out these Octane texture packs for Blender. And those of you who know, who use Blender Octane, there's not a lot of resources out there for us, so I'm super excited about this. I mean, come on guys, this looks so sweet. Sweet, get it? But anyways, they did reach out to me. They did send me a little tester pack to test out, and so far, like, I'm like, yo, this is dope. Like, finally somebody's like out there putting out some cool, check out, look, I mean, look at this thing. Woo! It's so dope. But anyways, I'm kind of playing around with some of these materials here and just doing like a daily render type thing. So this is what I've got going here, and I just want to walk you guys through my whole workflow of literally, because this is kind of the first time I've did this, and again, that's why I'm making this video, so I can remember how to do this again. I started this on my pad. Now, first thing first, let me jump in here to the file. This is what you see, like come on, like, right, this is what I got going on here. But the actual, this geometry is nasty. Like, it's so gross. I mean, look at this, all of this, just, it's horrible. But the whole reason why this was originally a test, I wasn't trying to do any like high-end thing, like just a daily render playing around, learning Blender Octane, and I stumbled upon this workflow. So what we're gonna do first, I'm gonna quickly show you here, I'm gonna break down the whole workflow. So what I ended up doing here, this is the post-processing here. That's the final cooked out version here. And let me jump over here. So this was the original. This is what it all started off with. And again, I just quickly sketched this on my little iPad here, and I was using Adobe Fresco. And you can see there, I've got it right there, just literally playing around on my lunch break. And I was like, oh, the North Face logo, that's kind of cool. So I kind of just did my own bite off of that. So a thing that's really cool is if you have Adobe Photoshop, and you have Adobe Fresco, again, Adobe Fresco is free to use. Whenever I do something in here, and when I save it, it automatically saves it to Photoshop for me, which is really nice. So when I go jump back into Photoshop, my file is already here. So literally all I do is just open up the file, and here it is, and I can continue to play on and do whatever I want to do with it. So what I did was I was like, I wonder if I can convert this to a vector, right? Like, I already noticed that it's kind of like coming in as a vector layer, and I was like, ooh, it's a vector layer already. So I was like, well, let me just save it as an SVG and bring it over to Blender. So I saved it as an SVG and brought it over to Blender, and it didn't work because there is a little bit of a workflow that you need to do. It's really simple. Again, I quickly searched on the interweb and I found a Max Hayes video, and he does the exact same thing, that he goes from Midjourney to Photoshop to back to Blender. So what I did was, here is the image that I want to convert over, right? So what I do is I select this, I go to channels, and then I'll just click on one of these. I'll hold down, where is it? There it is. I'll just hold down Control and then click on it. And then we got this here. Then I'll go Control Shift I to invert just this selection. Once I have this selection inverted, I go over here to Paths. And then I already kind of did it, but I'm gonna make a new one here. Let me quickly just delete this one here. You're gonna click on Path, and you'll click down here at the bottom, and there's gonna be this little asterisk. Once you click on that asterisk, it's going to make this into a path. Now you see we got the paths here. Again, I want to make sure I have those paths selected. So then when I just go to layer, and then I'll come back over here to new layer, solid color, click on this, and then you're going to go ahead and choose your color. It's going to make it solid like this. And now that it's all solid like this, and again, if I go ahead and I don't need to re-click on it, but I just do for some reason. Once I've got this color fill path, then from there, I can go ahead and export that out as an SVG. If you come over here, export preferences, and oops, actually, the one thing I do need to show you this, yeah, in export preference, because you won't see this, you'll need to come over here to export, and down here, use legacy export. Subconsciously, I already thought about this, and my hand was automatically going there. So once you do that, then you'll have this option where you can go over here, export. Then you'll go over to export as, and then you'll see right here, SVG. Then you'll go ahead and export that out and save your file. And then from there, once you've got that, we'll jump into Blender. Guys, if you enjoyed this and you want to go deeper with Blender Octane in particular, I do have a Blender Octane community. I'm giving a 7-day free trial to the community where you can get more access to content like this. Plus, you can get access to the Blender Octane 101 guide as it's being released, as it's being built. And I also have material libraries, databases of nodes and different types of things to help you learn Octane Blender and an engaging community. So if that's something you might be interested in, take a look down, 7-day free trial. Hey, if you don't like it, then you can just leave. And matter of fact, let me just quickly go ahead and save this file, and I'm gonna open a fresh file so you guys can see the workflow. Now I'm in here, we're gonna go to File, you're gonna go to Import, do not import SVG, where is it? There's another SVG here. I think it's like Grease Pencil SVG. You don't want that one. You want to make sure you're on Import right here, SVG Grease Pencil. Don't use that one. We want this one, Scalable Vector Graphic. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead and look on, find out where your file you saved it on your hard drive. And there's my file right there, one polygon, import SVG. And then before we do that, we're going to jump into the top view because our origin is going to be off. Make sure you select it because it is not selected by automatically. Oh, here it is again. So make sure you just click off and select it. And then I want to set the origin to geometry, right? And then I'm going to drag it right here to the center. And then I'm going to go ahead and scroll it up. And there it is. Now, again, when I originally drew this in Adobe Fresco, like I had lines that were touching and like it was very sloppy because I wasn't planning on doing this. But now I've noticed it's really kind of made my geometry really wonky here. So like when you make your letters, try to make them very clean. You might, if you want to keep some space between your letters, just think that, keep it in mind that you're going to be exporting it as a vector. So like this, like see here that one, they were touching and everything, like, you know, I didn't really, this was all prototype. So, but now I've learned the workflow. So once we scale that up, we're going, these are paths, okay? They're basically a path. We click on our little green path down here. And then what I noticed was for me to get my O to finish, like I had to come in here and play with the resolution preview. See, if I move that a little bit, boom, like now, okay, there, it's full. That's what I want. So that's good. 64, I'll take it. I think I need to put this other one also to 64. That's the render when it's gonna render. Okay, so now here it is. And then from here, we can go down to geometry and then I can extrude it up. There it is. And it's very small distance here, like 0.07 or something like that. So there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate X, add in 90. And again, it comes in with this kind of default, like no texture or whatever is on it. And then what I'm gonna do is just quickly just take that off, add a new material on here. Matter of fact, while we're at it, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drag and go over to the Pixel Lab Blender kit pack that I'm playing with. And I'm gonna scroll into their pack here and I'm gonna go to motion graphics. And I'm just gonna grab one of these colors down here. Oh, they just look so nice. I love them. They look really good. I'm gonna grab this, let's grab this Perlin one here, right? And just dump that on there. And let's go ahead and fire up the render. And boom, there it is. So I literally brought this drawing that I did from the iPad into Blender, and here it is as an SVG. Now again, like this is not the best file that I work with because it's very sloppy. Like I said, I had lines touching and things. But then again, we can come in here and you can add a little bit of a bevel here. So if we add a bevel on here, now you can start to see I'm starting to break my geometry because my geometry wasn't really that clean in the beginning. But there it is already. That looks cool. I got kind of a little bit of an edge on there. And that looks nice. What I'm going to do is shift duplicate this. And then I'm going to go GY, pull it forward just a little bit. And then I'm going to grab the offset and see if I can I bring it down the offset without it getting crazy? Oh yes, I can. A little bit. There it is. And on this one, I'm going to drop a different material on here. We'll grab this blue and drop it on here. Okay. And then, I mean, come on, look at that, guys. How fast did we set that up? Oh, it looks like the G here got a little bit crappy here because of the offset. Again, I got some bad geometry going on here. Let me see if I can squeak that off. Nope, not gonna let me do it, huh? Not gonna let me do it. That's all right. Let's go ahead and see if we can grab this guy offset and make him bigger since he's in the back. All right, but you see we got some crappiness going here on the butt, but you get my point. You can, I mean, this is just the start. I mean, come on, that looks really cool. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and look, the back looks absolutely horrible, right? Flip that around there for a second here, and that looks nice. So one other thing to take note when you're playing with this stuff, like you can also do some really cool stuff. Like if I grab the front face here again, and if I come up to, where is it? There's a place where I can control the front. Okay, right here, fill mode. Right now it's on both. So I can go to front and it's only filling the front, I can go to back. Now it's only filling the back, or I can even go to none like that. And then check that out. Like, right, we can make it kind of just like the edging, right? And then even, you know what? Let's see if we can take this and just scale that up just a little bit. Shift duplicate, make, oh, actually undo. I don't want to shift duplicate. Let's grab that back one, shift duplicate. And let's go ahead and take the offset off of that and make it go to 0. And let's go GUI. Let's pull that forward a little bit, something like that. And then let's add another color here. I'm gonna add this pink in here. All right, and then, I mean, I'm just playing, guys, but that's what I like doing here. So boom, there it is. Let me go back to the original file that I had. So the original file, I played with it for like a couple of hours. Like, I was supposed to be doing some other stuff, like making the Blender Octane guide, but I was playing, like, I guess I want to play, but I gotta work, but I want to play anyway. So what I did was, here I got this, and then I used the materials from the Pixel Lab, but then I also added a little bit of subsurface to one of the, to actually all of them. I added a little bit of subsurface on them to give them that little plasticky, like, you know, cartoony vibe, because it's already like from my mouth right there, a piece of apple. Well, anyways, it's already got that, you know, squiggly, dirty writing. It's not clean, kind of cartoon vibe, just playing with the vibe. So I ended up doing that. And in this background here, if I jump in here, I added this slight little gradient here on this background plane. Again, how I did that, it's very easy setup here. I basically took I added a gradient generator. This gradient generator is basically doing that. It's just making a big circle. And again, inside of the camera here, I've got it controlled down to there, black and white value. Then I take that and mix that into a mixed texture with the emission. So if we come out of here, we've got this color here. So if I unhook that, this is all you see. But then I want to add color. So I add the RGB color, plug it into that slot there. Then this allows me to control how much of what I'm seeing. So I'm just basically just kind of like backing that off just a little bit like that. Is it the correct way to do it? I don't know, but it got the look that I wanted. That's all that matters. And then I got that plugged into an emission node, and then that's also coming out of here. And there it is, pretty much just a universal material. And I made it emissive just so I can pop. I wanted it to pop as I'm spitting everywhere, right? So once I did that, that was pretty much it. So from here, I rendered out the render, and again, the render was dirty. Like, again, the geometry was dirty, so I had all kinds of artifacting going on, but I wasn't worried about that, because again, just get the render 80% there and then go back into post, and then that's where the magic happens. So if we jump over to the Photoshop file again here was the after. This was the after, the final results here. And I mean, this came out okay for some really bad gunky geometry, which you saw in that other file. We click on my layer here. This is before. This is straight out of Octane. Not really any post-processing done on it. Here, look, you can even see this line here, like the broken geometry, like the rendered, the artifacts. So the way that I fixed that here, I literally just came in here, made a copy, jumped on here, grabbed my heel brush from Photoshop, and literally just kind of just went like this here. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see what I did. Grab the heel brush and literally just go Alt, click, and then come down here, and I just painted out that line, and anything else that was bugging me, you know, there it is. Boom. There it is. Artifacting gone. Do it in post, right? Like, to sit there and topologize all that and get that to be smooth. Really? Let me just clone it out, right? So once I did that, then I jumped into Photoshop. I went to Camera Raw, and it's not letting me complete this because I don't know why. Some jibber jabber, right? Let me try one more time. I didn't even read the message. Could not complete the Camera Raw command because of a program error. Who knows? I don't know. Probably need to restart my computer. But anyways, this was the final output. I literally just went in there, added some contrast, cranked up the blacks a little bit, you know, desaturated some other things a little bit, add some saturation. And this is the final output that we got. One polygon with me, this little kind of plasticky, like fun vibe, you know, really easy, simple render that I just did here in about 2.5 hours, literally from playing on the iPad to bringing it into Render to Photoshop. So that's how I use Blender Octane. If you guys are interested in using Blender Octane, it's free to download. And on my YouTube channel, I've got a Blender 101 course, 18 videos deep and more coming of how to use Blender Octane and get using this bad boy, because it's super fun. And then again, we've got people making resources. These folks down at Pixel Lab are going to be pumping out some materials. I am super excited about some of these materials. And they've got all kinds of stuff. You guys look at their products here. Take a look at this. I mean, they got stuff VDBs, Redshift, Unreal, VFX. Look at all these packs they've got. So definitely take a look at them. I don't have an affiliate set up just yet, but I will be setting up an affiliate with them. So hopefully by the time you guys check this out, use my affiliate link. It'll probably be somewhere down in the description. Check out the Blender Octane School 7-day free trial. Enough of my jibba jabba. Patrick LeVar. Catch me on this live stream playing in Blender Octane, maybe even tonight. Peace.